Flagstaff brand. Is that what it's called? Where you keep only your brand in the store? Flagship. There we go.
Yeah.
So before they were Flagship.
Yeah, so like I remember that.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of why because they used to have hella carrots and hella like classic and shit.
Bro,
like
they
that.
brought Anwar out for that for the Brooks shoe.
Yeah. That was after they became a flagship though, because I went to the Seattle one.
Oh, you did?
And my friend Niles, and his girl at the time were the only people that showed up. And Anwar took us on a tour of the whole building. We smoked in the van. You know how they had that van and shit? We smoked in the van with his dad and shit.
No way. Yeah, I thought that was so cool. He brought his dad with.
It was hella cold outside. He was like, you guys can just chill like in the van.
Yeah, it was so when he came down to ETC, so I had an old Peas and Carrots design from like maybe not their first one obviously, but like within maybe the first 2 years or something like that. And I had held on to it. So when he pulled up for the shoe signings and everything, I came down there and I brought it with to see if he'd sign it. And he was like, where the fuck did you get this from? It's like an old Hamza hand, and it's got like dude, it was a cool ass shirt. But then I got him to sign it and everything. And but I swear he was almost like voicing kind of the same concern with ETC. He didn't think anyone was gonna show up, and like it slowly trickled in. But by the end of the night, bro, they were packing it out. They were selling shoes. They were doing good things over there.
Yeah, because fucking. It was crazy though.
You got a business card? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Yeah, it was just crazy how fucking nobody showed up to the Brooks or like the one.
Well, and to even talk like I'm not into running or nothing like that, so I wouldn't have a reason to be familiar with Brooks shoes. But like that was the first time I had even heard of them, and then them to do a collab with Carrots and like coming out of Seattle, I had no idea. I thought that was hella cool.
Yeah, it was dope. Honestly, like.
Do you know a lot about Brooks? Like, have they been working with collaborators like that in the past, or was this kind of a one-off thing they did?
I don't know a lot about them, but I do know that they try to put their foot in that lane a little bit more.
Because they are a local Seattle brand, right?
Yep. Their office is like right out there. Where is that at? Like UW area, kind of. But it's like a weird little area. I don't even know. Kind of like Fremont-ish, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
It's like a weird little area. But, yeah, it was dope, honestly. Like, to even, like, because we went around the whole building and shit. And, like, to see, like, all the little shit. And for him to even, like, offer that was, like, hella dope.
What was it like? What was his dad like?
He's cool as fuck. He was just telling us hella little stories. He was just talking to us about putting us on a little good game, honestly. Him and my friend were chopping it up hella much. I was hella cold. I wasn't really saying shit.
I do remember that.
It
was January, right? I remember that.
I can't even remember the time of the year, but yeah, I was hella nervous at the time. I don't even know why. Like, I didn't even have the same, like, I went there with, like, hella inspiration to meet Anwar.
Yeah.
When I got there, I was just hella nervous.
I got a funny story. So I actually fanboyed out on Anwar like the first time I met him. So I was a huge Casey Veggies fan. Casey Veggies fan throughout high school, especially when I found out like he's the same age as I am and he's already on it. Like me and my homeboy Procom, we were watching his every move.
Yeah, when he always rapped about $30,000.
Yeah, I got 30,000 girls on me. Yeah, and he bought that Audi A4 and he was flexing,
like,
bro.
When he made his first 30, he made sure motherfuckers knew. Hey, literally, bro.
Shout out to Casey. And so he came up, and I think he was opening for Dom, and I was obviously watching the show, and then he got off, and I came out back, and like Il Chris and everybody was out there, and Anwar was there, and like I don't fanboy, and I still to this day don't know what really happened, but I kind of just like what I was gonna say left my mouth, and it wasn't really what I planned to say, and I'm like, dog, cool as fuck to meet you. I gotta roll. But I thought that was super cool of them. And then Casey, that night we were up front, and I had just lit a blunt, passed it to him, and like he wasn't touching anybody's blunt, but for whatever reason, he just smoked like half my blunt and passed it back to me. I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. I was not mad about that.
Yeah, man. I was supposed to give Anwar a fucking shirt. And I just did not give him the shirt. I was hella scared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, literally, that's why I went and literally did not give him shit. I was rattled as fuck.
So, was it just being starstruck or, what, just got distracted?
Literally me just being like, I don't want to whip my shit out because, like, what
Yeah.
he thinks is weak. Like, I was on that type of shit. Like, and I'm like, damn, like, nah, like we'll meet again.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like I already
Especially
know.
someone like that, bro.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
But like the first time I ever seen him though, like I used to live in Frisco. I used to live in San Francisco for college. From like 2012 to like 2014, something like that for the most part. Can't remember what year it was, but 420 out there, they had this place, this big ass park. It's like at the end of Haight Street. I forget what the fuck the park is called.
I think I know what you're talking about, though.
Every 420 there, it's called Hippie Hill. They do like this big ass fucking. It's like a fucking festival there. It's like Hemp Fest on steroids.
Okay.
Like literally.
Bet.
Like,
In the Mecca.
Mm-hmm. So, all these people are there, and then fucking, I'm with the homie, one of my homies, my friend Tyler out there, and he fucking like, like just came from like, he was like, bro, I just met Anwar.
Oh shit.
Like, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, you know, and then. But I see him from deep. Like, you know, we're walking around, and I just see him, like, later on in the evening. Like, you know, I didn't walk up on him or nothing like that. But I seen him, like, you know, I'm like, damn, this is like a small-ass world. Like,
just running into him on the fly.
Like, kicking it. Like, motherfuckers be kicking it. I think this is before he really had kids and shit, too. So, like, motherfucking, like, at those Casey Veggies times. Mind if I use it?
Yeah, please. No, pick that up at the Heme ETC collab or at the pop-up. I got to meet Hakeem.
Kahim.
Kahim,
Yeah.
dude, I've been doing that the whole time. I literally so like came in there, copped a whole bunch. He was accepting Venmo, and I'm like, oh, I got a couple, you know, I got some extra funds stacked over there, so I'll spend some money with you. And like, literally within like, I'm just chopping it up with him, and so I got right to him. I'm like, hey, dude, like I run a podcast. I don't know how long you're in town for, but you know, if you got some time, let's try and set something up. Man, he was all over it. He was like, yep, let's go. Like I'm here till Monday. Let's set up a Sunday, this and that. And immediately he invites me out to Travis Thompson's like birthday party, that event they were doing at the restaurant.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find a babysitter, so I wasn't able to make it out.
We was all. I didn't even drink there because I got hella drunk the night before, so I could not drink.
You were just observing.
I literally just was like, I was surprised they even let us smoke inside of it. So you know, I was like, damn.
Oh, they were letting you guys smoke in there and everything.
Yeah,
that's lit.
Like, you know, 'cause it was like a private party. So.
Yeah, that guy Travis is getting some love in the city, man.
Oh yeah, man. Dog, he's holding it down for the town right now, man. He's the guy for it. So.
Definitely. I'm trying to think of what I got hip to. I think I just probably like. I think I knew of him before ETC was trying to plan that pop-up before like the pandemic and everything happened. They were going to do a pop-up show down at ETC. I remember that. That was like maybe March. I think it was like March 16, 2020 or something like that. But man, with this new album he just dropped, he's going crazy. He's got features from Juicy J, G-Eazy, I'll Fight You.
Boogie.
You said who?
Boogie.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, Boogie. Who else is on that album?
Well, I have to tell you, you know, the more tapped in I get with Travis, the more often I see your face in the background of half these pictures, bro. You just, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, if there's someone on the path to getting the key to Seattle, is Hayes over here. You seem to be tapped in. You seem to show up in the back almost every photo of him that I'm watching on.
That's my guy, man. We be kicking it, man. That's my bro.
How'd you end up making the connection with him? And like, I seen you hanging with like Nick Biba and all them.
Nick, I've known Nick for a long time. We was just spitting. We got hella mutual friends, Seattle. You know, just growing up, being city kids. You know, for the most part. Trav, him and my best friend Niles, they start making music together. So, like, pretty much, we just became friends off of that, just hanging out. And yeah, he's just
right place, right time.
I mean, shit. Yeah, we just, you know, it was just genuine. You know, things that happen for the most part, and you don't meet a lot of people like him. You know.
Could you tell right off the bat he was something special?
Yeah, like we used to go to bro's house and just chill. Like.
Oh really?
Like we just used to smoke on his fucking porch, kick it, talk about other shit, link up, go get food and shit like that. Like actually just hang out, you know.
I love how genuine he is. Honestly, you don't ever get any fake energy out of him. He's not, he's not out here acting tough or nothing. But just right. The love he shows to everyone and everywhere he goes, you could tell it gets reciprocated back to him, man. He deserves everything he's getting.
You know, just making an effort to like kick it with us, you know, for the most part. And then that's some shit that not a lot of people do. I feel like, especially like back then. But back then it was a little different though. Like, I feel like the scene was just way different as far as like everybody being like friends. But like.
And it kind of moved away from that now? Or?
I just feel like the kids are younger, you know what I mean? For the most part. So everything's so spread out. Most of these kids who are like rapping and like really good at rapping probably don't even have cars to hang out.
Right.
For the most part. So it just all depends. These kids, everybody's just kind of younger. So like for me, I'm kind of just like in a weird space.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm not going out as much.
I feel you.
I'm
kind
of just chilling, in the background. But it's like I'm paying attention through the internet. But it's like I'm not going to be in the same places as most of the people who I feel like are coming up right now just because they're a little younger.
Right. I grew up kind of in the same sense of like I was, never at home. I was always trying to be out. Always, if there was something going on, I would figure out a way to get there. And now I got a kid. He's almost he's 2.5, and we moved out to the sticks, and we all got jobs, and so just getting out there and just having fun just doesn't come as easy as it used to. And then especially like with this podcast, we're trying to pick up like extra content, go put together a Patreon, and we can go out, and if we have to like vlog events or something like that, it just is not as easy as it used to be to just pick up and roll out and pull up to the spot. I don't know if it's a part of just getting older or, I think everyone eventually gets to that spot. You don't see too many 50-year-olds at the club, but
man, sometimes you do.
They're out there. Yeah.
You don't know they're 50 though. Sometimes.
There's also, yeah.
But there's some people, you see too much at the club. So
yeah, that's for sure. So one of the other things I was kind of just scrolling through the Instagram and seeing if I was gonna find anything, and I mean even as early as like I think 2014 and 15, I was seeing like some of my homies tapping into your stuff. So you've been building the bridge down here with Tacoma for a while.
Oh yeah, man. The bridge, I'll say like 2015. I guess like I was saying though, like things were just different back then. Like and I got to give credit to like even like I said, my friend Niles, because he was out of my friend group, he was like I feel like at that time just he was doing the most. So.
And you recognized that kind of at a young age? You were kind of on the same tip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we first met, it was just kind of like, we all like became friends for a reason, and then like literally he was just on the rap shit. Everybody was fucking with him. So he used to come out here and fuck with 30 and shit. And,
sick. Okay.
Yeah, so like he would go to, I think, Coob's house or some shit like that, and they can sleep over there while they would work on music and shit like that. So yeah, it was just like that's what I was saying at that time. The gap was being bridged very well, and then I was a part of a group called Tranquil at the time as well. So,
and is that fair to say it was getting national attention? That was Magnet and Kenyatta, and that was going off. That's what
we had members and like.
Eventually, like led to like Lil Peep and all them,
but we have like Wicked Phase and shit like that. He's from the Netherlands and shit like that. So,
really?
Like, yeah, like we had members literally like all over the world.
See, I was acutely aware. I knew of it, but I wasn't tapped in like that. No one was really, put me onto the sauce out there. So how did all that come together? What was kind of that experience like? Did you learn any valuable lessons on what to or what not to do?
I mean, for me, it came about, shout out to my cousin Malcolm, and rest in peace to my brother Bakari. They just literally texted me and was like, "Your Thrax house." like
welcome aboard, bud.
There was really you feel me? And then
no interview process.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Kinda, and then Ned pulled up on me and was like, oh, this is what you about to be doing. Like, I already, like, you know, I kind of already knew.
Been
like,
doing
you
this.
know, like, you know, like they already knew. It was just like I just kind of had to get on it, for the most part, and it was just cool. Like, you know, it was just a really good group of friends. We were all having fun. We all had shit going for us. Man, if anything I'll say, I'll just stick to it. Like, you know, that's the one thing I learned.
Don't quit.
Yeah, from all this shit. Like, you know, just stick, because that's all of us though. Like, you know, like everybody in the group has stuck to it, and everybody in the group is doing something. Like, there's not probably, you know, not really anybody I can say like in throwing cells that's not really doing shit for themselves.
Hasn't maneuvered and adapted from where they were then and continued pushing.
Everybody's just their own.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
know,
of
it's
course.
just something that we reminisce on. Like,
Yeah.
It's hella fun though. Like, those times were fun, you know? Just literally, it's just something to reminisce on.
Yeah.
Because I'm still friends with majority of the people in the group that like I was already kicking it with. Not necessarily like everybody that was from like LA and shit like that,
right.
But like everybody that was from Seattle, like we're all still friends.
Yeah, and easy. Like if you got a friend who works his way down to LA and he makes new friends down there, now you got new friends in LA just by proxy. Yeah, I thought that whole time in Seattle where, you know, Thrax House was going up, we had More Gang who was doing numbers as well. Ill Chris got signed to Nacho got signed to Surf School. Ill Chris was going on tour. I just remember like this 1 year streak, maybe one or
shit
two
going on. Like 30 was popping. Like there was so much shit going on. Like Ghoul, like nigga, like.
Well, and that was the thing. So down here in Tacoma, we're looking at Seattle, and we were like, or at least I wasn't looking at like, you know, Seattle's that's still the home team, but it's not Tacoma. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we were looking at people like Ghoul, and we were looking at 30, and we were looking like all these cats.
We were coming out here I was coming out here with shows.
That's what I was saying. Like it was going back and forth both ways. That bridge was getting built.
Yeah, Niles and my bro Mo. Mr. Nice, they were doing shows back and forth out here. So
that's funny. You want to know? I used to do Amway. Do you know what that is? Mm-mm. It's like a multi-level marketing thing. It's like, you know, anytime you hear someone call it like a pyramid scheme or something like that, like whatever one of those, and that's whatever your image is, that's what I was in. And so the main product of that is just talking to strangers. And so I ended up meeting this guy who was working at like a what are those, like a GameStop, and I'm talking to him and he's like, yeah, I'm a videographer. And I'm like, oh really, like what do you shoot? And he goes, oh, I shoot rap videos. I'm like, oh really, like who are you shooting? And he's shooting for all the homies. And I'm like, how do I not know you? And so he was it was Dawson Knight. He was shooting Mr. Nice's videos, and he had just finished shooting one out in like Vashon Island or something. He's showing me all the behind the scenes. I'm like, dude, I love my city. I can walk in somewhere, meet a stranger, and find out he's actually one of the homies I just hadn't met yet.
Yeah, no, that's literally Seattle all the time. Like, me serving weed to people. I be know who people are, and I just don't be saying shit sometimes. But sometimes I'll say shit, depending on their circumstances. But, you know, and then motherfuckers be seeing, they'll be like, and then they'll figure out who I am, and then they'll be like, bro, I've seen your shit. Like, like I just don't be saying shit, though. Like, you know, I'm not one of them guys. I'm not finna just, you know.
Read your own news clippings?
Yeah, it's all good. You feel me? For the most part. I'm chilling.
What is this?
You know.
Oh, is this you?
This is that's not me. That's undisclosed, you know, G14 classified person.
Beautiful.
That's not even a real person. That's a ghost.
Yeah, that's.
If you guys are seeing this.
So, do you ever kind of get used to having strangers come up to you and knowing you before you know them?
Get used to? No. Because I'm like hella paranoid. Like, you know, so I don't be liking that shit sometimes. But at the same time, I be like, approach. Yeah, just like, you know, like I think like any other person, like, you know, you just got to be like a regular person. Like, you know, just like, hey, bro, I fuck with your shit. We could chop it up. A lot of people, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like this dude. He approached me the other day. I fuck with how he approached me though. Like, you know, because it was just on some genuine shit. It was on some, oh, bro, like I like what you're wearing. Like where you get that hoodie from? And then we just start having a conversation based off that. Yeah. Like, you know, and then come to find out we got hella mutuals. Like, he's like, oh, I know you. Like, I know
Sweet.
you.
He was just a homie you hadn't met yet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like, so it was just like, oh yeah, bro. Like,
yeah, I love running into those. So from Thrax's house, did you go from there, and is that what kind of cascaded you into starting Basics, or what took you to that doorstep?
So I was a part of Thrax's house, and at the same time, I was a part of a collective, my Ep-19, which is like the collective I've been a part of my whole life, basically.
I saw they helped sponsor like a toe jam or something. What was Ep-19?
No, we used to do toe jam with them, basically. So I mean, like, it's like, so Ep-19, we were our own entity. We threw parties and shit like that, for the most part. So we got DJs, rappers, clothing designers, whole bunch of stuff, for the most part.
There's a lot of faces in there.
Photographers and shit like that. But basically, we were throwing our own parties. We're hella cool with airmen and shit like that at the time. That was our bro. So we were just like, nigga, why not throw a party together? Because we both seen, like, at the time, it was like our scale was basically the same as far as like the amount of people that we're bringing out.
Yeah.
So it's like we're both in that 500 to 600 people range. So why not just collab, and we'll have, fucking 2,000 people, or well, way more. So yeah.
How did it work out? I don't think
great. There was times where shit got funky, but there was times where shit was really good, for the most part. And
yeah,
that's one thing I don't want to get into. I can't really discuss the details, at the time. But like, when it was good, it was good.
I'll at least say this, because I know there's mixed, everyone's got mixed feelings on Toe Jam, but the ones I went to, dude, I had a blast. Shit was baller. All the homies were there. We pulled up some, like, some little hole in the wall spot. We'd be blowing, just smoking it out, and
I'm pretty sure
it was a blast.
Fun, but it's just not for like, like we had a whole idea or a whole plan, I feel like, and then shit just didn't go how it was supposed to. You feel me? And sometimes you just gotta let shit die.
Yep.
Like, and
there is a point where you gotta cut your losses.
Yeah, you just gotta create something new. Like, like I'm a creative ass person. I can, like create something new. If I fucking literally sit down and smoke weed, I'll literally think of I don't know how many things. Like, so it's like.
And have you always been like that? Have you always just like?
Since I was a kid though, like, shout out to my mom and my dad. Mainly my mom though. She used to have me in all these fucking programs and shit, dog.
Okay,
like,
so good. I'm glad you said that. Let me ask you this: do you think it's something you're born with, or is it something you build every day?
You can build it, like, some people are born with it, but it's like if you can be born with it and not do shit with it, but you can learn every day. Yeah. So like you can be born. There's athletes, natural born athletes out there that don't do shit, that work in the office.
Yep. Well, hard work beats talent every time, no matter how talented you are. So and I
exactly.
say,
if you work hard enough, you'll be talented.
Exactly. And so I've never considered myself an artist or really even all that creative. I never, and is because I never had any sort of creative skills like drawing or painting or, poetry or anything along those lines. And as I say I didn't have the skill because I never worked at it. I never tried drawing. So when I got like, the first like portion of my life was really like I'm and still am, but I'm much more like a numbers guy opposed to like an artistic guy, at least as far as like what I can create. Mm-hmm. And so I got to a point where I was like, I feel pretty fucking comfortable with numbers and all the other shit that I've been good at for the last, 10 years or whatever. It might be time to start, picking up things you're not so good at and building that other side of your brain. So, I actually put together like a little music studio in my house and was like, writing little raps here and there. They weren't any good, but still got them, did them, put them on tracks. And it's just, I always like wonder about that because I do at points get envious of people who like are able to have a full vision in their head and then bring it to life, because it's not something like I feel like I've done all that many times in my life.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I just like
he said I'm just living my life.
Hey, like literally, it's just hella natural for me.
It jumps out my brain into the paper. That's good, bro. Don't ever stop it.
Shit like that. I guess I just I've always done shit, so it's just like I think it's just me naturally turning it into like clothes and like me marketing clothes and advertising clothes and shit like that for the most part. Cause yeah, I just like fucking being creative. It's weird, like it's like.
So, have you ever considered like? Did you ever consider having a 9-to-5 job, or were you pretty much like already knew
like
you were
when
gonna...
I was the only thing I wanted to do when I was a kid was be an architect. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So like, just imagine me saying that, and then like like I guess I'm that now in a different sense,
right?
But like my bad, my favorite type of design is like. I wouldn't even say design, but like my favorite thing that I like to get into, I can't wait till I can really get into it, is like home decor.
Oh, okay.
So
sweet.
It's like, I don't know. Shout out to my grandma. Just like, I like home setup. And my mom, just like, it's just beautiful.
Right.
Shit, just like, the coloring schemes that you can do and how you can really like make a house look and shit like that. I don't know.
And so you're not just talking about like individual objects. You're talking about the entire like design and layout.
The whole living room.
Yeah.
Or like the
okay.
whole, literally. That's why I'm like.
My girl, she has this like design a house app, and she spends hours on that, just playing, just designing different color palettes to go with this, and we'll put this flooring down, and like essentially it builds like your own little apartment or condo in there, and she is all over that. But again, that's not like, I was talking with him. His dad does construction and like builds houses from the ground up, and like he's able to like see just a big plot of dirt and be like, okay, like this goes here, we'll build it this high, this is what it'll look like. And like, I do not have that bone in my body. I can't just imagine. I have to be able to touch or feel something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can put it in my hands, I can put it together from there. But just showing me I'm just not one of those creatives.
Yeah, it's like when I went to school, there was only 2 classes that I liked in college. But I thought that, I personally think that only 2 classes I kept the paperwork from till this day. And I left school in 2013, 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I forget the name of the class, of one of the classes, but the teacher, she had us build out a store, basically, like a whole retail store.
Oh, really?
Yep. And that was a part of our project. And I think I got like a B or A or something on it for the most part. And then the other class was like a manufacturing class. And only reason I even like this class is because we were in downtown San Francisco, and for one of our field trips, she took us to literally a fucking sweatshop that was fucking, but it was crazy because it was literally 3 blocks away from the school.
Oh, really?
So I'm like,
you had no idea.
I done walk past this and buy weed from hella motherfuckers. Like literally, like like the taco spots right over here and shit. I'm like,
and this boarded up building over here, I never seen.
I done walked past the mall and did a hella shit, like but like y'all just.
That's
like,
insane.
Yeah, and it's crazy though, like and I'm like, I haven't been back since, so I wonder if the place is still there, but. Yeah, it was hella cool because, like, we go in there, we're talking to the lady. I'm the only one asking questions. That's what's funny. And the lady, she's hella mad because, one, she forgot she had the field trip coming today.
She forgot to clean up.
So, and then somebody didn't come in to work, or like 2 people. So she's like, everything's fucked up today. You see, this is what happens when people call out.
And she was saying this to you?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
She's like, this is what happens when people calls out. Slows down all the production.
Here's an intro to business for you.
Literally. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
This is the shit you got to go through, huh?
That's interesting. So you went to school in San Francisco for clothing and design then?
I went to school for fashion marketing.
Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
College, yeah.
So what's the difference between like manufacturing and then fashion marketing as far as like curriculum wise? What are they trying to teach you there?
Like I was in the fashion marketing, I was getting my degree for fashion marketing. They put me in that class though, but they put me in hella design classes. So that's why I was like, man, you guys just fucking curriculum is fucking dick.
What was your goal coming in there? What were you trying to accomplish coming out of there? Or were you just at school?
Because my fucking mom wanted me to go to school. All
right.
And I didn't want to go to school in Seattle, so I was like, man, I'm getting like me and my homie, Cheesy. We had a brand at the time. Well, like we had a brand, but we didn't put out no product. But I had taught myself how to design.
Uh-huh.
Cause high school, nigga, I used to get high as hell. Like, nigga, just come home and sit at the computer for hours and like redo shit in Paint.
Really?
The Paint program. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that
Microsoft
program.
Paint. Yeah.
Not knowing,
no tools, like, no nothing,
bro. Just like that.
Pixel by pixel, we'll paint that.
Not knowing, bro, but like I was making heat. Like, dog, if I could pull up some of the shit I was making back then, like, cause I'm high as fuck and I want to learn.
And
I'm a kid, so I'm like, I'm really interested in. So I'm like, I'm about to sit here for hours. My mom would be pissed. Nigga, school nights, I'm there at 2:00 clicking.
Still just playing.
Like, just like high as hell still, for hours, and she just making shit, and I'm just like, but one of the homies was like, bro, you can't get shit printed like that. Yeah. He's like, bro, you can't do shit like this. So he's like, you gotta use Photoshop. Like, it's the only thing, Photoshop or Illustrator. Or at the time he was like, you just gotta use Photoshop if this is the shit you're on. And I'm like, yeah.
Whoop, my bad.
And then I got Photoshop from, I was in this mentoring program growing up, and they had an old ass version of Photoshop that they gave me.
Oh, really? So like YMCA club or something
it's
like
called,
that?
Friends of the Children.
Okay.
I was actually like the first group of kids in the program.
Hey, shout out to them. That is important work, because if you don't know, those programs are not cheap.
Not at all.
They're not cheap. So unless someone who has the ability to put that in, children's hands, is very likely not going to get there. So
yeah, and I was the first group of kids, and to see where the program is at now is fucking ridiculous. Like, I went to a banquet, I want to say like 2-3 years ago, motherfucking.
They got
like
the
me
silver
and the homie,
platter.
I'm looking at the shit like, damn, nigga, like the
We might
mayor
have
and
to
shit is here.
re-enroll.
Like, there's hella, like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like. It's a plated dinner. I gotta order before. You gotta order before.
Yeah,
they
give you the chicken or the steak
exactly.
choice. Yeah,
Like, you gotta, so they can make sure they got enough. I'm like, damn, it's one of these. Like,
swank.
I have to leave early though. I was like, man, I'm getting out of here. Like,
Crack me up. That's awesome. So you really are a homebody. You're not.
I mean, at that time, I just already I had plans, and like, I'm.
Okay.
I'm like, I got invited by my old mentors and shit, and they be knowing like. We're not trying to really go to shit like that, like all the time, But they did just ask me to be a part of like this committee, so I guess I'm doing that right now.
What kind of responsibilities does that come with?
It's just like a planning committee, I guess, for the most part, for like their next couple of years, because they just want somebody that's like an alumni to give their input upon the program and what the program should bring and what the for the kids and shit like that. And it's very important because Seattle public schools dick as fuck, sorry to say. Like,
we got the same thing down here, bro.
But yeah, I just think all public schools though, I mean, all schooling kind of is just kind of fucked up, mainly based off the fact that we don't even learn taxes. So
well, and not only that, if you're not gonna if you're gonna be someone who's self-employed, there's not really a whole lot of use to going to school for. I mean, up to I think the numbers like third grade that's like where they get your cursive and your multiplication,
honestly,
and all
me,
that.
like, yeah, you could, after 8th grade, depending on what type of person that you're gonna be, like, school mostly prepares people for 9 to 5.
Yep.
And they're just not letting you, like, like my school, I went to Garfield High School. Good school for, like, they quote unquote academics. They got a cool AP program there, but like, I don't know. I just feel like it's not set up for everybody to win. Like, like, I don't know, man. They just got to accommodate the students better.
Well, and unfortunately, when, a big bureaucracy like the public schools, right? They have to have some sort of cookie cutter approach where they can say, hey, these are our metrics, like, and this metric say we did good here, we did good bad, or we did bad there, so we maybe need more funding here, and this and that, and everything is very cookie cutter approach, like, and so for most people, if you're going to get a job, most jobs just either need a body or like a trained body, but either way, you're gonna be falling into the same, classification of cattle.
Yeah, man. I feel like it blocks a lot of kids' mindset upon what really goes on in the world and what they could really be. It's like one of my biggest things is like, all right, like in sports, when people want to be athletes, and that's all they want to be.
Yep.
But there's only so many NFL jobs, but there's so many jobs within the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, whatever. You're like, that you can do that's still pertaining to what you love and being around what you love, And I think they got to provide those. They got to tell kids about these opportunities and show kids these opportunities more so than just letting them do whatever.
No, I totally agree. So my mom, she has this guy she works with, and he runs a record label, but he also works at Boeing, and so he's doing a lot. And oh shit, I just lost my train of thought. So he runs a record label and he records and he does a lot of stuff. And so what he was able, like, I came through and was just kind of checking out the studio, and he was kind of telling me, like, I was asking him, like, so do you only make money like recording artists? And he was like, I would starve if that was the only way I made money. And so he broke it down, and he was showing me, he's like, all right, here, let me show you this. It's like a 25-second loop I made for this, what is that? Dove ice cream or whatever. He just made a studio beat or whatever that's called, just like an instrumental for a commercial, and he said 12 racks right here for 25 seconds. Took me a couple hours, and from there I'm like, then I started listening to the commercials, and I'm like, oh, how much you think that guy got paid for that little couple tones here and there? And so I would try and put all my producer friends onto that, but some people are really enamored with the fame, and some people are really enamored with the actual work of making music. And so, but I say that to say there's a ton of different lanes within that industry. Even if maybe you're not the front man of the group or something like that, there are tons of, occupations within what it is you want to do. So
people's egos be too fucking big.
Yeah, that's a big one too.
Everybody's not a boss. And that's okay, for the most part. Sometimes you just gotta play your role until it's time to be the boss. That's how I feel, at least. Like, for me, I played my role in a lot of situations, and I'm still playing my role in a lot of situations, But at the same time, I'm working on being the boss.
Yep. You're right. You do gotta work your way into that. It's not,
Yeah, you just sit back and observe. You sit back and observe. That's why, at least anything, try to get a job in your field or something that you like, that you want to do, so you can sit back and observe the game and, just, you don't gotta say too much, just watch.
I compare it to, like, people who, they have that show, and it's called, like, Winning the Lottery Ruined My Life. Have you seen those? Mm-hmm. And it's, when someone who has never been responsible with their money, and, just typically someone who gambles on a weekly basis to win the lottery, like, you don't, usually it's like those kind of people who win the lottery. So they win the lottery and they blow it, and then they're out of money, right? But that's why you don't hear when you get dropped into that spot and you don't have any prior training, it usually doesn't go well.
Yeah, man.
So you do,
you gotta go. I mean, that stuff, it builds character. Because I definitely done been through times where I done been up and then been down.
Yeah, so, I know that one too.
Yeah, so it's like that. Like, I was just talking about that with my homie earlier. Like, like everything. How you gotta know everything's temporary. So like.
You're almost never more than two decisions away from being homeless at any point.
So if you're getting money right now, like a lot of money, make sure you put some up.
Yep.
Because you never know.
Do something with it. Keep it working.
Yeah, you never know when that job is gonna be like, I'm done, or everybody can get money forever. It's about how you get money forever.
Right.
You're gonna get money in so many different ways. So it's gonna be so many different transitions, and it's about how you can stay stable throughout that transition.
Right.
So
I know you're on your come up right now, but do you have an exit strategy in mind? If all your cards get played right and everything goes your way, do you have like an exit strategy plan for making your getaway?
Not really, I guess. Like, because I don't really have an exit strategy. I guess like I'm like Jermaine Dupri.
I'm here to work forever.
I'm always be in the game.
Yep.
You know, you just might not see my face.
Beautiful answer. That's what the real ones do.
Yeah.
The real ones never really retire.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, cause I want to pick people on. Like, you know, like.
That's what I'm saying. There's always another level.
That's my biggest thing, man, is trying to find, or not even trying to find, just trying to put people, whether it be my friends, kids that are, you know, kids that are coming up trying to do this, you know, whoever.
Yeah.
Like, if I could, somebody I might not even know. Like, you know, for the most part. If I like your shit's dope. Like, you know, like, just putting you on. So
do you have any examples of like, they don't even necessarily have to be the little homies, but just someone you saw coming up who you respected and like did your part to bless them up? Or on the counterpart, have you had someone that maybe you saw more in than they saw in themselves, and maybe you gave them a little responsibility and they it didn't go well? Have you ever experienced any of that?
Like right now, like the person I probably fuck with the most, that's like going crazy, like this is my sister, like, you know, we kick it all the time. Nia, she got a
That's
brand.
so funny. I almost wore my Auntie Jewel sweatshirt today.
Yeah, she got a brand called Auntie. Yeah, exactly.
Bet, I almost wore that tonight.
And you know, that's like my nigga, like, you know. And I went to school with her sister. Me and her sister in the same grade. I went to school with both her sisters actually. And Nia's just like a amazing soul. Like, you know, she's just a bright energy, someone that's always great to be around. Like, if you got a problem with Nia, you're a weirdo. Like, you know, like literally.
That's the exact feeling. Like, yeah, I was going to say, I've never met her. I picked up a sweatshirt from her online, but dude, I just get the feeling that she is very nice person.
She's a great person. She's an intern at ETC right now. So
that's news to me. Congrats to you, Nia. That's major.
But yeah, Nia's just always that person, like, as far as like right now, like she asks me if I need help with anything, you know? So she just wants to learn, and she just wants to do things, like, you know, she just wants to be a part of this shit. And as a woman, you know, there's not a lot of women streetwear coming out of Seattle like that, like, you know, like
coming out of anywhere,
like,
yeah,
you know, for the most part, like,
yeah, Auntie Jewel, AUNTIE, yeah, up right there. Yeah, I think I scooped up her the one she printed with like the sparkly print. I think I got like the lemon one or something.
Me and her got a collab coming too.
Okay.
Actually. It was gonna be at the Pop-Up, but it's not gonna be there on time. So.
Oh, okay. Next time.
You guys will see it, but it's coming.
So, do you got anyone else either in the area or like indirectly who's been kind of inspiring you or getting you in different
ETC? I guess probably all the homies. ETC, Daz, fucking Bougie,
and
Hoody.
From the sound of it, those guys have all been just welcome to you, man. They love.
Yeah, we've been friends for years though. Like, you know, this is just like things that have been built up.
Actually, I meant to ask about this. I've been seeing this around the Hurt Girl Hideout. Where do you know anything about this?
So she kind of has to tell it. She would have to explain it to you more than I did.
I guess we need that Auntie Jules episode.
I copped the hoodie, but fucking yeah, like she explained it to you, but I kind of forgot. Like, you know, the whole thing. She can basically tell you way more.
Yeah,
but I like it. I love the name.
I know. I like the design for it. See, shout out to Groovy Tapes. They're beating us on everyone. It's funny actually. We had Colin and Slubaka on, and we had them on, and then later that week they went and go recorded with them. I went on vacation to Hawaii, and they popped theirs out before ours, and I was like, yeah, respect. You guys beat us, but
that's hella funny.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm glad to see, dude. I just like it because I didn't have anyone who was necessarily like putting me on to the Seattle music or even the scene. Like, we were so all encompassed in Tacoma. I didn't know anything and I wasn't looking out for anything. Like, of course I knew like More Gang peripherally and like was tapped in there. But like throughout the last like year, I've just been like person by person, like I'll find someone I find interesting and I'll start diving through who they find interesting. And like, bro, I've built this whole web of Seattle. I had no idea what was going on out there.
Oh yeah, bro. There's a lot going on.
Oh. It. How far down did it go? So sweet. So how did you? It sounds like you and Mary Jane have been acquainted for quite a while. How'd you get your intro, and what has kept you around for so long?
What I first hit the weed, it was funny. I gotta tell you guys the whole story.
Please, we got time.
Dog, it's just funny when I think back on it.
Will you grab me that green box right there?
This one?
Yep, that's it. Beautiful. Thank you, bud.
When I first hit the weed, mind you, I'm a sophomore in high school.
That was your first time smoking?
Yep.
Bet.
Sophomore in high school. I didn't been around it, and like I was an athlete. I was playing football, so
okay,
I
sweet.
was like, I was just like, smoking is not for me. But there's this girl. She was a senior.
There's always just a girl.
She was taking me to lunch.
Okay.
Every day. She used to take me to lunch. Taking me to McDonald's all the time. Yeah. Because Garfield's like hella far. Only thing you can really eat is like Zales and shit. Like, So
you might go hit that fan. Yep.
Me and her, she would go to McDonald's every day, and one day she's smoking, and I'm like, ugh. I'm like, why do you? And I'm like, why do you smoke? I'm like, that's just not cute. Like, and she's just like, you don't understand. Basically, like, and I'm like, okay.
You don't know till you know.
Yeah. And then after that, she stopped fucking with me. Literally.
Really?
Yep. The next day.
She took offense.
Kind of. I guess she's probably, this nigga's hella young. He don't know shit yet.
He's lucky to be in the car in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's exactly probably her energy.
I've taken a couple of those rides.
Like, and so, honestly, I think like the next day or like 2 days later, we had this assembly, but we had like a break in between the assembly. And all my homies blew bud. And they were all about to go shake,
Yep.
for the little break and go smoke. I'm like, man, I'm just about to come with you niggas, like, And then like one of the homies was like, man, hit the weed, like, and I'm like, and I wanted to smoke though, like at the time. I'm like, everybody about to smoke. I'm like, man, let me try this. Like, all my best friends are smoking weed.
What am I missing?
Like, exactly. I'm like, all my best friends are smoking weed, so let me try this shit, literally. So, and then one of my bros, he's like, nah, you don't gotta hit it, Hayes. Like, don't hit it. Like, if you don't want to hit it. I'm like, nigga, I want to hit it. So, let me hit it. We at the Apple.
Nice. Classic.
All I remember, I was high. I was laughing and shit. It was hella funny. Like, and ever since then, I just have not
Never stopped. Yeah, I got a similar story. When I was in like third grade, I grew up like kind of a crazy kid. So I got put on like ADHD medication in like third grade. And so I'm taking like Concerta, methylphenidate, and like a couple other ones. I think this might be my first backwood. I stop at it off.
Some people don't like them. I feel like you smoke good weed and shit like that. Like, it depends. It's like when you put Bamber weed in a backwood, it's gonna taste like shit. And I feel like it's one of those things like, yeah, when I first started smoking backwoods, like I was smoking with my homie. Now that I like think about it, he smokes Bamber, so like shit used to be burning my throat, and all this extra shit. Like now that I'm really like thinking back, I'm like,
name?
like, nah, I'm not gonna put him on blast like that because he'll be so hot if I put him on blast. But you know who I'm talking about.
It's all love. So I was just a wild kid. I was impulsive. My head moved fast, like my brain moved fast. If you didn't hold my attention, I was gone on you. And so like 8th and 9th grade, I kind of got introduced to it. And we're staying at the homie's house. And so we go pick up a little weed from our homie, make it back to his crib. We smoke our weed that night. And then my mom comes and picks me and him up in the car. And first thing she does when she picks me up is she's like, did you take your pills today? And I'm like, yep, took them. Wrong bag. She's like, and I'm like, put it back in my pocket. Like, she's like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, no, it's the wrong thing. Caught. She's like, do I need to make you guys take drug tests? And so I was never really all that sly, but ever since, never really put it down. And in all honesty, like, I think the weed is why I don't know, it's hard to say, but I think the weed definitely replaced the medication in a much simpler way. Yeah,
it really, because they have my brother basically on the same shit, like,
and they get him, dude. It's so crazy. They get him out of like, dude. Imagine, how old are you at third grade? Like 8, 7.
Exactly.
You mean to tell me the 7-year-old can't pay attention to this? So they give you this test to find out, right? And they read you this boring ass book, and then they ask you questions about it. I'm playing like, and they have toys in the room. I'm like, I'm clearly not paying attention. So
I'm a little ass kid. I do not care about books.
For a while,
I was a different breed of kid. I liked everything. So I like to read and fucking play video games. I like to do it all.
Don't get it twisted. I like to read and all that, but it just had to be interesting to me. If it wasn't interesting, I was out.
Exactly. Like, I used to make my own stories. That's how fucking, like, much I used to be like, man.
Were you a good writer?
Yeah.
Sick. I was kind of too. I get, like, not like, well.
I used to write, like, bro, they had me in writing competitions, nigga.
Oh, really?
I could have went to fucking, like, D.C. to be in this, like, fucking, I forgot. My dad was just telling me about it the other day. He's like, remember when you could have fucking went to Washington, D.C.
It's so funny to go back on that stuff.
And I'm like, well, kind of, yeah, but whatever. Like, shit, like, I'm still doing cool shit. Like, you know? Like,
well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I used to be in, like, they called it JAWS. I have no idea what it means now, but, like, juvenile, whatever. It was, like, the smart kid club, and we would go to a different school, and, like, I was always hella smart. There was no two ways about that, but school was not my it did not mesh well with how I learned.
Yeah, it's like 5 kids in my fucking class. Like, me, he had, like, 5 other kids. Like, we was all reading at, like, we was in fucking like 2nd, 3rd grade, reading at like high school levels and shit.
Yeah, I always remember that was the biggest flex. Like, my reading levels, like 7th grade. I'm in like 7th grade.
I was reading like I was reading Harry Potter.
That way, yeah. I was reading that in 3rd grade on the way to daycare. I remember that.
Like, kids just looking at me like, how the fuck are you?
Dude, that is crazy. Like, I do remember, like, and I don't feel like I was all that special. Like, I felt like a lot of people were reading high level shit.
And that's why I'm like, bro, this generation of kids, they don't even be reading.
So might be a weird question. Do you plan on having kids at any time?
Sheesh, I don't even
Still
know.
up in the air?
Yeah, like,
I'll tell you this. There's nothing wrong with that, bro. Yeah. They're not going nowhere. I'll tell you like, what.
Man. Like,
it is much better to know for sure than to, you know.
I feel like nobody, I feel like,
yeah, that's.
I feel like, or nobody's like, it just happens.
Yeah, that is how it happens. But I asked that because, like I said, dude, I didn't have a great experience with school. And especially with, like, you know, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now in the world. But even before, before Corona, like, maybe, you know, I gotten kind of introduced to the idea of, like, homeschooling. Like, would you ever consider homeschooling your kids if you had, like, because the big thing
I
is,
would,
like,
but I would probably be the teacher. Because my kids ain't going to like me. I already know.
Well, I don't know that they're necessarily. You're supposed to teach them, not make, you know. They're
exactly.
supposed to learn,
I think the way that my teaching style is probably not going to be the best. So, you know, I'm going to just probably have, hopefully the woman that I have the kids with is stable enough.
Yeah, dude, that's
to do that shit.
Definitely, you know, the time to think about that stuff is before it's at your front door. I'll tell you that. Cause like I heard someone put it like it's like after 3rd grade, like that's the only, like that's the real, after that public education isn't really getting you much better. They're just having you memorize like weird events and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's just like, and only thing I think was good about school is like the social aspect,
yep.
You know,
that was like, I was talking with my stepbrother. He was like, yeah, I just got to a point where my mom told me to get up for school, and I just realized I told her no, like I'm bigger than her and she can't do anything. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I ever tried that one. My mama would have whooped the shit out of me.
Yeah, she don't give a damn.
But I didn't mind going to school. I wasn't doing any of the work, but I'm out here with the friends. Like, that's where I got to see all the homies, see what's new, like what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not really tripping, like, you know, because it's like, even if I skip class, like, you know, I'm going to skip it with the homies.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for the most part. So it's just like, you know, but school is just like the social aspect of like being around people and interacting with people. But I understand why some people, because school, man, kids are hella mean, bro.
Yeah.
Like, kids are hella mean, bro. Well, like, you know, growing up, and I feel like, you know, if there's something like wrong with you or slightly, or people just don't understand, like, hard times, you know, but then you're like, you know, because they're kids, so they don't know really what that is.
It's hard to have a wide perspective as a kid.
Yeah, you know, unless you're really you know, we obviously, you guys probably know this, unless you're already going through shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, for the most part, like, I done went to school with kids who done already really went through shit. So it's like, it was, but, you know, the people are still mean. Like, you know, or you just got to be strong. Like, you know, for the most part, you got to be ready to talk back.
How many friends did you have where, like, they had an interaction with their parents that went one way and you're like, dude, like, I remember I'm like, he's like, yeah, my mom said no. I'm like, no, dog, ask her again. And he's like, yeah, bro, that's not how it works at my house. I'm like, what do you mean? And then he's like, yeah, my mom will actually, like, I know you joke about getting your ass whipped, but my mom will actually whip my ass. You know, what she says goes. And so, like, I never had the perspective as a kid to be like, oh, he's serious. Like, until, you know, you go and see it firsthand and you're like, oh, that's what you meant. Like, you were serious when you said your dad wouldn't let you get away with something like that.
Oh, yeah. Like, so yeah, my mom was one of those people. She is on my ass.
Yeah.
All the time, anytime, any place. Like, it did not matter. As soon as I came home, I remember I got grounded for like 4 months because I went to this party. And I did not care because the party was so popping.
Oh, is that lit?
Yeah.
You took the consequences on the chin?
I already knew it was going to be. Like, I literally did not care. She tried to take my phone that I was paying for. I did not let that happen.
Yeah.
But she actually did. And I got it back, though, way sooner. I was like, bro, you can't take you don't even pay this bill. So
she's like, yeah, that's a fair point.
You know. But she took it for a second, but I got it back.
So, did your mom help? Like, where does the, to switch subjects real quick, where does, like, the interest in clothing and fashion and all that, like, originally come from? Did your mom play a part in that? Was she kind of, was she supportive?
So, like, my mom plays a part in me liking clothes a lot because she just always, she just always had me dressed up, like, you know, and, like, made sure I was, like, looking good for the most part. So,
okay.
She is the reason why I care about my appearance the way that I do. But at first, she kind of wasn't like, she just didn't understand. My mom was one of those people, she wanted me to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something.
What did your mom do growing up?
She's worked for the city.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah, so she's just always wanted me to do something, I guess, a little bit more clean cut. You know, and once she realized that's not me, like, you know, at first she had a hard time adjusting, but I think, honestly, within this last 2 years, she's, with COVID, she's seen me working way more.
Oh, really?
On clothes, so she's just like, oh, like, I get it. Like,
yeah.
Now, like, you know.
I was going to ask, how has COVID affected business? Has it been a positive or a negative for you?
It was very positive.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Positives came from COVID. Like, literally.
How so? What happened?
Because, like, I think, me personally, I was fucking around before. I just wasn't, like, fully into what I was doing. Like, you know, I was invested more into, like, working a job than fucking doing basics. So, I just wasn't, like, fully staying financial with the money, doing dumbass shit. Like, you know, just not staying down for my come up. And once COVID happened, I stopped working for like 2-3 months or something like that. And I was just working on designs and shit. Like, and literally just worked on designs like every day. Like,
really?
Yeah, just like got high, worked on shit. And I was just like, you know what? It's time to actually like put some shit out. But I was working at a print shop at the same time, kind of. So like, it kind of like just balanced it out because I was there more. So it was like, oh, I can like get shit done more.
And that was clearly a strategic move, getting the job at the print shop?
It was just kind of something that happened.
Nice.
Yeah, because like I go there all the time. They fuck with me. I'm always in there being active, you know?
Yeah.
And they needed somebody to, you know, they needed an extra hand at the time. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it, you know? But they closed down for a little bit during COVID too. But once they opened back up, I was in there a little bit and just got, my shit was just getting prioritized. So I was just, you know, able to drop shit. And then I just came with a whole new mindset upon how I wanted to release clothes and how I wanted to be like more intimate with the process. So that's why like I'm doing more pop-ups, because I feel like my brand is a brand that you kind of have to you kind of got to like see it you know, for the most part, like I want to showcase what I got going for the most part. Like, you know, it's a very hands-on thing. I want to create the experience so a person can actually come through and feel the garments and wondering why they're spending $100 on this hoodie or whatever. You feel me? $150 on this hoodie, and you know, because it's like, nigga, my shit is some of the best shit. That's why, and it's gonna last you forever if you take care of it right, literally. And yeah, so, and it's just all about having fun. I feel like, you know, it's fun to create that experience and show people, like, you know, they can come and chop it up with me, and you know, we take pictures, and you feel me, like I make sure I take a picture basically like with every customer. I try to do that. Like,
bet.
So
honestly I thought it was really cool you brought the heat press with, and all the bejewels, so you could bring in your own garment and get it heat pressed on.
Yep, that too. Exactly, like shit like that. Just more hands-on shit, so I can just talk to people and get to know people.
Well, and if you listen to any brand or any brand, like brand ambassador who speaks, or like someone who brought up their own brand, like that's almost, I was just listening to, I think it was like the No Jumper interview with like ASAP, and he's got Merino Infantry, and they've been doing a different pop-up in each, or a pop-up in a different city every single weekend with all like custom designs to that pop-up, and they just like every weekend they're just going on tour with these pop-ups. And he was like, you know, it's set it a bar apart, getting out there, meeting the people, like seeing these people who line up in lines, and especially if you can build a culture of like, because I think, I don't know, maybe you'll disagree with me, but I already have the vision of like your brand is something you have to come get. It's not like, I mean, I know it's on the internet and I know you can get it delivered, but it is something you need to come and pick up. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, hands on. I mean, it has that like, feel to it.
Hella people, like, man, because motherfuckers always want to link up with me. But I have shit that I need to fucking do, yeah.
I can't link up with every customer.
I don't fucking sell weed. I don't fucking do this shit. Like, you know, like, no, like, it's not selling weed, bro. Like, yeah. I'll sell my shit to a store before, you know, I'll go link up with all you guys in a random place. Like, I'm paranoid, dog. Like, y'all gotta understand. like, you know, like, oh, man. So it's just like, come to the pop-up. It's way better, honestly.
I'll be here. I'm expecting you.
I'm literally here. Like, you know, exactly. Like, I'm literally here. You want to come find me? I'm right here. Yep. The address is posted. 11427 Rainier Avenue South, Seattle, Washington.
That's aisle 4, right?
Yes.
I fuck with those guys, 4. Honestly.
Yeah, shout out to Mal. Shout out to Lamar. Shout out to Toad.
Your last pop-up was my first like introduction to them, and that is like I have a somewhat similar plan of like putting up some event spaces here in Tacoma. So like the way they do that was super cool to see. I don't think I got to tap in with the owner or nothing while I was there, but there's always next time, it sounds like. So speaking of which, you got a pop-up coming up soon, and not only that, is with the homies too. You got a couple vendors coming. Who all you got coming? What all you got going on? Let the people know.
So we got my nigga Hoody. He's gonna be in there. He's gonna have some good vintage for you guys. Some great vintage for you guys. Tranquil Forest is gonna have some merch for you guys as well. And then actually Auntie Jewel's gonna be in there too with some shit. You know, so make sure you guys come pop out for us. It's gonna be a nice little weekend, man. You know, that's the special guest, Auntie Jewel.
All the dates for what you're talking about?
Yep.
Oh.
October 23rd.
Auntie Jules is a special guest?
Yep.
All right, that's breaking news right here. We got a piece of it.
Come on. October 22nd, October 23rd, October 24th.
So, Hoody is a close friend of the show. How did you end up making that connection with him? And what purpose has he served in the whole process?
Just around that time as well, like back in the day, like I was saying, like when all the homies was just like kicking it, like, you know, like, you know, like the scene was just, you know, like it was just like if you was around, like, you know, like
it's a big city but a little world.
Exactly. It's like even the first time I met you, like, you know, like back then. So it's like, you know, like if you was around, you was around, you know, at that time. And yeah. But,
and so did you come to him for like the dyeing process and all that? Like I got on a pair of these right now, and I'm not even all that familiar with like how the dyeing process works and all that. Like, did you play any part in that?
So I forgot who told me Hoody dyed was be dying shit. I think it might have been Umi or like Austin or somebody, but I can't remember who told me. One of those guys or like Dash or somebody. But I just hit him and I was like, man, like, cause they were telling me that he's never done it like on a like wholesale level though, for the most part. So
okay. Yeah, because he gets a lot of like vintage pieces and he'll do those up. And
yeah, they were like, but I'm like, man, well, I was just tired of not having colors.
Yeah.
Like,
or at least like the
they don't have no color sweatsuits, dog. Like, it's hard. Like, like
they just got the stale colors, right?
like,
Gray, white,
gray,
black.
Like, just regular shit. So I'm like, man, I need some colors, bro. So that's just how that came apart.
That's stupid cool. So you got super resourceful with that. Yeah. That's like one of my favorite parts about like the clothing industry is like, yeah, there's the finished product and how it looks, but like the behind the scenes, what goes into actually making it, all the little details. Like if you can tell me a legitimate story about the piece of clothing and I can buy into it.
If you like go to our reels, like we got the fucking
middle right there. Post reels tagged right below it, right there.
They got all the little processes and shit.
Yeah, pull that up right there. Yeah, they all came out super. So were these white originally or something?
Yep.
And then you just, that's so sick.
It's just crazy because like all of them look different.
Yeah, that's like none of. It's yeah.
Each individual article in there, yeah. It's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, it's hella fun.
Sweet. So what days is that going on again?
The 22nd, 23rd, and the 24th all weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And that's gonna be up at aisle 4 as well as Seattle.
Yep.
We'll we'll put all that information in there. Oh shit, dude. I wish I would have packed a little bit better. It was a little loose. I'm dying.
That's just still hidden.
Well, beautiful, man. We're super. Honestly, I'll tell you this. There is a couple people in the city who truly inspire me to like get better at being creative, and you're one of them. I'm super glad you came in. This has been awesome. Did you have anything else? I'll let you put in the closing thoughts. If you got anything for the people, words of wisdom or whatever, bro.
Hey man, it's a Scary Side pop-up shop, October 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Make sure you guys pull up. 11427 Rainier Avenue South. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Thank you. Hey, this has been Tac'd In with Spencer P. And you know what? We didn't even give the
Spencer, man, having me out.
We didn't even give the bro proper intro. Maybe we'll put one in, but obviously this is Bakari,
B.Haze,
owner of the Basics.
Hey,
he told
man.
this stuff. You know who he is. I don't gotta tell you, but
no, you gotta let them know. Cause for the ones that don't know,
exactly. Then that's what we do this for.
I'm here. I'm B.Haze. Follow me at Freshest Pilot, all platforms.
Get used to it.
Basics.company, Instagram, at BasicsCo on Twitter. Yeah, man. Thank you, Spencer, for having me here, man. It's a fucking pleasure.
First of many, hopefully.
No wrong, man.
Beautiful.
Man. I'm loving what you're doing, man. Thank you for having us.
All right, brother. Yeah, next time we'll have the legit studio up and running.
Hey, man. I like this shit. You know, I like the home. You know.
Yeah, this ain't bad.
You feel me? Chilling.
Beautiful. All right, people. Love you guys. Catch you next week.